I live in hiding in an abandoned high-rise called Andale. These are the rules I follow to stay safe. I am not homeless. I have a home. I do not own it, but it is mine. I do everything to keep it. Every city has abandoned buildings for squatters. Usually you face police or unfriendly neighbors. Andale High-Rise has neither. Police avoid it. Locals do too. As a stranger new to the city, I stumbled upon this place my first night here. It is strange for a 28-story building to stand rotting in the open. Every window is dark. The courtyard's pavement is cracked. No cars fill the parking lot. No guard post exists. Not even a barbed wire fence surrounds it. Less than a mile away, a playground buzzes with drunken teens shouting. None dare approach Andale. No campfires burn. No music plays. No bottles soar through the air. Only silence reigns. Inside, the main lobby is ruined. The double doors are torn off, gone for years. Anyone curious could walk in. I am the only one here. Most of the ground floor has collapsed. Ceilings sag soaked and moldy from England's harsh weather. Water claims this place. Moss and algae coat the walls. The elevator shaft is flooded. Peering into the murky water, I see my faint reflection. Below an old rusted elevator cabin sits just steps beneath the surface. The thought of standing waist-deep prying open its escape hatch haunts me. What lies below a metal box sealed in darkness for years? I imagine pressing the call button and wondering if it would rise against all logic. That image still lingers. The empty shaft stretches upward, cables creaking in the wind. I learned one rule: do not linger near it too long. If you look up, something may dart back, pulling its head from the door before you see it clearly. At first, I found it thrilling. I made it a game like hide and seek, but play too long and it appears elsewhere. Any open door becomes an invitation. Ask about Andale and most shrug or laugh. Kids whisper about it like any haunted house, but no one dares challenge others to visit. No one parties here. No one sneaks to the basement for thrills. No one hides contraband. Andale fits an urban legend, but people truly avoid it. They joke about ghosts, yet treat the land like it is radioactive. I am surprised the city has not demolished it. The council loses most when Andale is mentioned. Built in the 1950s as social housing, it drew young mothers hoping for stability. Soon their children's health failed. It began with infants who never woke from peaceful sleep. Deaths were blamed on neglect or abuse. Teenage girls screamed, dragged to jail on cold doctors' accusations. Society always faulted the mother. No one defended them. The first year saw 2 deaths. The next 4. It continued until Andale closed. In 1982, they traced the cause. The rooftop water tank leaked heavy metals into the supply. Not lethal to adults, but deadly to fragile immune systems. By then, 38 women were imprisoned. 23 others took their lives before trial. Those were only recorded cases. Not all Andale deaths tied to water. The place always found ways to kill children. Some starved when parents overdosed in bathtubs. Others died finding their parents' drugs, tiny bodies convulsing as frantic mothers begged for help. Some fell down elevator shafts, doors opening as if a cabin waited. Those were the found ones. Countless others vanished, labeled runaways. Andale's reputation grew so toxic that closing it, sealing it, erasing records was the only option. Even abandoned Andale kept killing, growing crueler. A policeman told me years after it closed, they found a man dead on the 6th floor from sepsis. A rusty nail scratch caused gangrene, as if in the 19th century. He never sought a hospital, dying in agony as infection spread. Strangely, he barricaded his room with furniture, crafting a flag from clothes scrawled, "With help me." The lock was on his side. He could have left. The policeman recalled his eyes open 2 days after death, staring at the door hands, clutching a reeking blanket. Other stories abound. Many fell often without reason. It was bad enough to seal the roof access. When I arrived, someone had smashed those barriers with a sledgehammer. I rarely go up, not since seeing pale fingers gripping the ledge, as if someone clung for life. Most would rush to help, reaching out. I saw dirty nails, unnatural fingers. I used a broom handle to push my jacket closer. Those grotesque hands snatched it, yanking it to the parking lot below. I think about investigating, but my fear of heights stops me. You might say I should leave. This is my home. I own it as much as it owns me. Locals call me the caretaker, forgetting I wasn't always here. Even police treat me like staff, calling me to check intruder reports. The only one here as long as me was the philosopher. I call him that for his books. He came when Andale was housing, staying years after it closed. His apartment held dozens of notebooks, thousands of pages on child sacrifice, rituals for nameless gruesome sketches of bizarre frozen creatures unlike anything real. At first I thought he documented curses. He had books on odd phenomena, birds with too many wings, milk curdling into blood clots. Digging deeper, I found letters to his wife, dead in childbirth. Her death certificate hid in a box of letters he wrote her even after her passing. Another box held replies she wrote scrawled on scraps with blood and filth ink. He dated them, noting how they arrived. A rat delivered one before being eaten, a dentist pulled one from a cavity, a 13-legged spider wove one. One letter explained why he came. Andale was the key to saving his wife. He was weeks from opening a door, promising to bring her back. I never learned where he went or what happened. His apartment was locked when I found it staying sealed until a key appeared in my jacket the next morning. I live in his old place now. It is safe. His wall symbols keep things controlled. I don't understand them, but they are easy to redraw. Every few months I trace them. They keep me safe and sane. In Andale, you need protection. I don't know when Andale's curse shifted from misfortune to something real and dark, but it is not just bad luck or poverty anymore. Wandering Andale, especially at night, is dangerous. It draws a stream of crazed, desperate people who might attack on sight. If lucky, you face them. If not, you find them dead in hallways, or parts of them, skin floating in stairwell water, bloody nails embedded in ceilings. The oddest was a tooth inside a light bulb gum, and blood intact glass unbroken. Many come for rituals, deals, dark purposes, like the philosopher. Best not to disturb them. Show no sign you are a threat. Each night I lock my door, waiting for Andale to finish its work. Mornings I check every floor, cleaning remains from the tower's strange pilgrims. Most rituals seem fake. I suspect many seekers become victims of something or someone with reason to hide. Few are naive. Most I see resemble cheap death metal album art. Once I found a book titled Satanism and Magic in the 21st Century. Hard to believe the universe's secrets lie in a book with an ISBN and 3,000 Amazon reviews. Not all exploiting Andale's energy are foolish. A man paid me 3,000 cash to lead him to the darkest place in the building. I didn't understand at first, thinking he meant light and shadow. That's part he said, but I mean darkness, like under a bed, a crack in a wall opening to gaps between bricks where a child wonders what's inside. A place God's attention skips for some reason. His words were vague, but I knew what he meant. A corner, I asked, sharp. He nodded. I knew a spot. His smile chilled me. I led him to an 8th floor apartment, as decayed as others, littered with old items. Opening a drawer revealed cutlery someone used. A vintage TV sat on a shelf. Sitting on the tattered sofa, staring at its black screen, felt like knowing past residents. Touching the oven knob, fridge handle, or yellowed switch brought a quiet sadness. Looking up, the ceiling fixture was torn out as if someone tried hanging themselves. The apartment was a small bedroom with a sagging double bed, a living room, kitchen, and a tiny room for storage or a washer. A narrow triangle carved from leftover space when vital walls were built. The sofa and TV faced that room. Inside was a crib, green flies buzzing over it. You couldn't see inside without entering and pulling back blankets. No one had in years. Behind those faded Winnie the Pooh blankets, darkness hung heavy, hiding something no one needed to see. It swallowed light for decades. Despite a window, daylight never reached it. Perfect, the man exclaimed. He scanned the room slowly. Seeing the torn fixture, he smirked. At the crib, flies humming, his breath quickened. This is it, he said. Darkness like under a bed. You earn that money. I could hire dozens to search, but none understood like you. Thanks, I said, uneasy. He opened a leather briefcase, revealing 7 oddly shaped candles. Catching my curious glance, he grinned. Handmade, he said. Each took hours to melt wax. Finding fat was harder. Hospital waste security is tight. I stayed silent as he pulled out wood scraps and small nails, crafting random shapes with a tiny hammer. No matter, he sighed, fingers precise. Within minutes, he made 6 bizarre wooden polygons. Each felt wrong. Want to stay? He asked. No, I said instantly. He paused, smiling. Smart choice. If I respect that, I'll say now is the safest time to leave. I rushed to the door as he lit the first candle, glancing at the crib. Darkness not only covered it, but stretched to the doorway, deep and absorbing. The man ignored it, but soon looked up, waiting. "Can I ask?" I said. "Everyone here ends badly. What do you want?" "A new kind of afterlife," he said. "Don't we all need one?" He chuckled. "Only those risking it get better deals." He grimaced. "Worth a try." Glancing at the doorway's darkness, he added, "Who am I talking to?" "You should go." I slammed the door. The sun was setting fast. I ran to my apartment where walls protected me. Next morning, his briefcase leaned against the sofa arm. Candles burned to wicks, leaving a strange scent. On the crib room's wall, faint, scorched shadow of a kneeling figure lingered, head bowed, pleading. Sometimes it moves, turning toward me, causing headaches and fading vision. I avoid that apartment like a plague. Not all rituals end cleanly. I hate intervening. If someone seeks the universe's filthiest corners, that's their choice. Cleaning aftermath is simple. Once done, it's over. But it's not always easy. A man claimed he'd be my neighbor, saying we'd get acquainted. An awkward old man with an upper-class voice like a disgraced professor. He moved next door. Despite my silence, he tried being friendly. I warned his apartment lacked protection. He pointed to odd rashes on his arm, calling them his shield. Weeks later, I saw him crawling, scraping moldy corners, collecting fungi on Petri dishes, muttering phrases he thought I couldn't hear. He wasn't fully mad, staying out only by day. His apartment filled with rattling glass cages and murky jars. Mushrooms grew everywhere, feeding on Andale's darkness. His living room became a fungal jungle, plaster crumbling, exposing concrete and steel. Fungi thrived. I saw him toss raw meat to spiky mushroom clumps on old furniture. The shared wall symbols grew hot, needing redrawing daily. I demanded he stop. "This is vital work," he growled, a dark edge in his voice. "I'm not some junkie summoning demons. This is science progress. Your progress is crawling into my place," I said. "Can you ask it to stop?" He froze as if my words were absurd or profound. Glancing at his rash-covered arm, now sprouting odd growths, he spoke smoothly like a sleazy salesman. "These fungi," he said, "were kept in a university lab for 30 years. They didn't know what they had until I unlocked its potential. I traced its source. I can do things no one imagined. My thesis claimed fungi process information beyond our dreams. Your idea isn't bad, asking it to stop. Maybe that's a way." He left silently. For days, he scoured Andale like a frantic bee, poking corners, collecting dead rats and roaches in clear bags for his purpose. Mornings, I found him scraping remains of Andale's latest victims, stuffing them into bags. "Don't mind me," he mumbled. "No value to you, but these wretched souls can achieve greatness." This lasted a month. He stopped scraping mold, focusing on flesh. The stench from his locked door grew unbearable, tempting me to call police. Then he vanished. One morning he was gone, Andale's hall silent. But he hadn't left entirely. 2 days later, I broke his door. My kick pierced rotted wood like wet cardboard. Pulling the handle, it tore from the frame, creaking open. A hot, wet stench poured out. Inside, his creation spiraled beyond control. Shattered cages spilled creatures, frogs football-sized, staring hairy leaves sprouting. Insects with human eyes scurried, snatched by amphibians. Rats nested in old cardboard backs covered in finger-shaped fungi. A black rubbery mass snapped at passing critters. It was a jumping mushroom. It dragged prey into a corner, squeezing like a fist. Black specks opened eyes staring at me. I froze, horrified, until faint groans broke through. Shining my flashlight, I saw him fused into a wall moss and algae, encasing him unrecognizable but unmistakable. His wide eyes pleaded pain raw as tiny creatures gnawed his legs. Weird tendrils burrowed into his ears and head, relentless. Algae crawled into his mouth, piercing deep. He screamed, jaw unhinging, dropping to his chest, then floor. "Finally reached you," I said. "Worst idea ever. Think a mushroom would say anything worth hearing. Grown in Andale's ruins, didn't consider asking it to avoid my wall, huh?" His eyes begged for help. Something on the sofa caught my eye. A human-like shape in the dark. It seemed to turn. "I'll see what I can do," I said, slamming the door. The sofa's shape unnerved me. I requested a gun, getting a crossbow instead delivered by a tense 16-year-old named Ryan. His respect surprised me given my odd reputation. I thanked him, practiced shooting, and ended the scientist's moans with arrows. The sofa held no human shape, relieving me. Police arrived, hazmat teams spraying toxic chemicals. I feared they'd find his body, but only a floor stain remained. I never knew what he sought, though finding fungus-covered remains wasn't rare. I glimpsed a figure sliding into the elevator shaft's murky water. Maybe I connected unrelated dots. The flooded basement holds a strange world. One visitor, the fisherman, caused my worst ordeal. He came for the flooded basement, drawn by a viral photo of a submerged staircase, a massive hand like a starfish on the third step. I found him perched on the flooded elevator shaft's edge, legs dangling, fishing rod ready. A chubby, healthy man in his 40s, wearing a small fishing hat, he ate an egg mayo sandwich playing Candy Crush. Seeing me, he waved, sandwich in hand. "Hey, you the caretaker?" "Yeah," I said. "Who are you? Just a tourist?" He grinned. "Join me." "The sun's barely up," I said warily. "You weren't here at night, were you?" "Just got here 10 minutes ago." He pointed to a rod by the basement stairs, its line vanishing into dark water. "Mind watching if a line twitches. Got bells, but 2 heads are better." "What are you fishing for?" I asked. "Know the primordial ocean," he said. "The deep God split into light and dark. Not a physical place, but at the right time it connects to certain waters. Last seen in a whiskey glass in a forgotten Mexico City bar. Spilled it, flooded half the place by morning. What swam in it was another story, all from a glass no wider than my wrist. Imagine this." He gestured at the water. "Think fish live down there?" I asked. "At least," he said. "I'll pay for reliable info. Any ideas what's below?" "Not really," I shrugged. "It wants to be left alone." "You might be right," he muttered, eyeing his rods. "I don't use regular bait." He showed a bone and algae fragment, a tooth from a drowned man pulled by a drone off Norway. "This algae grew on his bones. I have more things to lure what's on the other side." "Costly research. Sit with me till sunset. $1 just watch." "Just sit," I asked, "and alert me if anything moves." I sighed, sitting cross-legged, avoiding the water. We sat for hours, barely talking, eating his homemade food, drinking cold beers. It was pleasant until I dozed off. I woke choking, chest heavy, hearing eerie giggles and skittering footsteps vanish into darkness. Panic hit. The moon was high. I grabbed my flashlight, finding no fisherman. His gear remained, his hat floating on the water. Something slick stirred below, lifting the hat. I scrambled back, crawling away, heart racing. This was my worst moment in Andale. Open doors tempted, but stairs led to the basement. I heard something approach, picturing the scientist's fungal fate. The basement was vast. Who knew what lurked? I chose the stairs, heart pounding. I'd never been trapped outside my room at night since my first sleeping in the lobby under my jacket. Andale offers no second chances. I moved silently, climbing floors, hiding at any sound, human or not. At night, Andale wakes. Whispers of strange children crawl from vents, their age unknown. I saw a ghostly girl, her hunger twisting my gut, pleading eyes glowing. Moonlight passed through her translucent form. I backed away, resisting her lure. I reached the 14th floor, nearly safe, when a woman stood before my apartment door. Pale nails caked with dirt. I'd found muddy barefoot prints on my floor. Now I knew their source. Her face was hidden but familiar. When she turned, I recognized her, the philosopher's wife brought back from death. Her face was mostly gone eyes, empty lips, rotted. Yet I saw past beauty. "My love," she whispered, her voice dizzying. Over 10 years I'd seen living nightmares, but she pushed me to my limit. Grief crushed me. I crawled to her, clutching her cold, muddy feet. That's my last memory before waking in bed. Everything seemed normal, almost a bad dream, but muddy prints led from my bed to the door. The fisherman's gear remained, but pulling his lines revealed bait replaced by body fragments. I threw them into the water, vowing to forget him. Sometimes I peek through my door's peephole at night. I never did before. She's always there, breaking my heart. I should feel terror, but it's like my insides are hollowed out. I wonder what the philosopher did to bring her back. His final letter said he'd trade everything: sunsets, dreams, nightmares, victories, defeats, memories for her. I think of him guessing we're near the same age, wondering if we'd have met as youths. But recalling life before this city, before waking under my jacket, is hard. Something stole my years. Maybe I should stop caring.